Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to another video of IINLP Research Group. My name is Muhammad Saiful Islam and I am faculty member at Muhammadiyah Al Jinnah University. I am also a member of IINLP Research Group. I'm starting a machine learning series in which I will be discussing about the concept of machine learning, the types of machine learning, the application and some of the research areas. So this is the first video of the machine learning series, and in this video we will be having a quick overview of machine learning. We'll be discussing about the concept of machine learning, we'll discuss about the types of machine learning and some of the application areas. Okay, so now just let's just move to the outline. Okay, so now coming to the outline of today's presentation, we will start with the AI composition, actually the position of machine learning in computer science. Then we will move to the concept of machine learning, and then we will differentiate the machine learning technique with the rule-based system. Then before moving to the types of machine learning, we will discuss about the labeled data and unlabeled data, which is necessary to learn the types of machine learning. Then we will move to the machine learning workflow, the process of machine learning, what are the steps that are involved in the machine learning, and then at the end we will be discussing some of the application areas of machine learning. Okay, so let's just move to the AI composition, or we can say the position of machine learning in computer science. Okay, so now coming to the composition of AI, if you treat this tree as AI, the artificial intelligence, then the roots or the foundation of artificial intelligence are a lot of areas, a lot of fields, including computer sciences. We have management sciences, we have mathematics, we have psychology, we have philosophy, we have electrical engineering. So all of these are actually the foundation of artificial intelligence. Okay, if you treat this tree as artificial intelligence, then artificial intelligence is itself subdivided into different fields. Those fields are further subdivided to speech processing, robotics, AI gaming, neural networks, natural language processing, expert systems, and so many others. So where does machine learning lie? Machine learning is here. We have machine learning as a subfield of artificial intelligence. So if we see the position of machine learning, where does it lie in computer sciences? It is actually a subfield of artificial intelligence, along with all of the other subfields. So coming to the concept of machine learning, as we already discussed that machine learning is actually a subfield of artificial intelligence. Machine learning is a technique that uses a massive amount of data. It learns the patterns in the data automatically, and then creates some rules which are known as the model at the end. The interesting thing about machine learning is that it learns from the experience, and it improves from the experience without being explicitly programmed. So the thing that distinguishes the machine learning from the traditional programming approach is that machine learning does not require the hard-coded rules. It learns the things automatically from the data. Now we will move to a comparison between the traditional AI programming and the machine learning. Okay, so now coming to the comparison of machine learning with the rule-based systems. If we talk about the rule-based system, we actually have two things. First, the facts, and second, the rules. And the rules are actually in a form of if and then statements. We pass both of the things to the inference engine, and at the end we get the desired results. If we talk about the machine learning techniques, we do not have some hard-coded set of rules. We have the data and we have some machine learning algorithms. We pass the data to the machine learning algorithms, and there is a process called training, after which we get a model, which are actually some set of rules that are learned from the data. So if you talk about the rule-based systems actually encode the expert's knowledge into some rules, whereas in machine learning there is no need of an expert. The rules are learned automatically from the data by the algorithm itself. So that's the basic difference between the rule-based system and the machine learning. Okay, so before going to the types of machine learning, it is necessary to have an idea of the difference between two types of data we have. We have labeled data and unlabeled data. If we talk about the labeled data, you can see here as an example some pictures of some fruits, and along with each and every picture there is something written over it, which is actually the name of the fruit. So here is, we have orange, we have mango, we have apple, and so on. So in the label data we have two things. We have the data as well as the labels associated with them. What are the labels? Labels are the indication, label are the definitions, what actually data is. So here the pictures we have will be considered as the data, and the labels that are associated with each and every picture, this will be called as a label, which is indicating what actually the picture is. If we talk about the unlabeled data, unlabeled data is a type of data where we do not have any indication, we do not have any additional knowledge about the data. Here you can see that we have a lot of pictures and there is no indication, there is no definition of any picture. So this type of data is called unlabeled data, where we do not have any definition, any extra information, any additional information about the data. So now coming to the types of machine learning, you might have heard about two or three types of machine learning, but actually we have four different types of machine learning that includes supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and reinforcement learning. If we talk about the supervised versus unsupervised learning, in supervised learning we have the data as well as the labels, which means we have the label data available. We pass the data and the labels to the model to get the results. But in case of unsupervised learning, we do not have any additional information, we do not have the labels with the data, so the algorithm try to find the patterns in the data by itself. Now coming to the unsupervised, semi-supervised learning. Semi-supervised learning actually combines both the techniques of supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In the scenarios where we have a lot of data, but only a small portion of the data is labeled, then in these type of scenarios we actually try to learn from the available label data, and we try to predict the labels of the unlabeled data, and this process is actually repeated in the cycles. So in these type of scenarios we actually use the semi-supervised learning. Now coming to the last, that is the reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is actually a reward based action and reward based approach, in which if a particular action is good, then the system rewards itself, and if the taken action is bad, then the system places a penalty on it. So this is a reward based system in which the system learns by itself. It is a very natural process. If we talk about a child who is going to learn how to walk, so there is no one who is actually supervising him, there is no one who is actually teaching him how to learn, but he or she automatically learns how to walk by repeating, by learning from the mistakes, by learning from the experience, and so on. So this is a natural kind of approach where we have two things, the rewards and the penalties. So now coming to the types of supervised learning, we have two types of supervised learning, that are classification and regression. Uh, classification is actually a process of assigning the discrete class labels to the data examples. For example, if we have some emails, we can categorize the emails to spam or not spam. So we are actually assigning the labels to a particular email that is data example for us. So the spam and not spam are the labels, and we are assigning any of the two labels to the example that is an email. If we talk about the regression, regression is actually a process of predicting a continuous numeric value. For example, I'm going to predict what would be the sales of my company in the coming month or coming year. I'm predicting the price of the stock market, the value of the stock market. These are all the examples of regression, where we are predicting the continuous numeric values. Uh, Here, the thing to focus on is the two terms that we have discussed: the discrete and the continuous. In most of the cases, this is true, but here are a few exceptions as well. Uh, some classification methods are also able to predict the continuous values, but only in the form of class probabilities. For example, there is 0.8% probability that the email is spam. Okay. Similarly, if we talk about regression, there is a possibility that we can predict a discrete value instead of a continuous value. For example, if we are going to predict that how many number of students going to be going to pass a particular exam. So this is an example where we are predicting actually a discrete value. Okay, so if we take some more examples, we have if we have a fruit and we are going to classify it, so we can assign any of the three labels to it. Either it could be orange or apple or mango. This is the example of classification. If we talk about the regression, on the basis of three criteria. For example, if we have the criteria that we have three bedrooms, we have the size as 120 square feet, and we have the house as a corner house. We are actually predicting the price of a house on the basis of these three criteria. So on the basis of these criteria, we are going to predict the price of the house. Then this problem is an example of a regression. Okay, so now coming to the types of unsupervised learning, we have two types, that is clustering and dimensionality reduction. So first, if we talk about clustering, clustering is actually a process of finding the patterns and finding the groups in the data on the basis of the similarities and the differences that are present in the particular data. For example, if you have a lot of fruits in a basket and you don't know what is the name of each and every fruit, what could be the approach? The approach is to select some criteria, and on the basis of the criteria just try to find the similarities or differences between the data. For example, you will try to find all of the fruits that are in yellow in color and you will place them in one category. You will try to find all of the fruits that are in orange in color and you will place them into another category, or so at the end you will have three different groups. So all of this is done on the basis of the similarities and the differences that are present in the data. Now coming to the dimensionality reduction. Dimensionality reduction is actually a process of transforming the data into the lower dimensions so that the features that are redundant, that are irrelevant could be removed from data. Uh, we have a term that is called curse of dimensionality. If we have a lot of data and we have so many features, features are actually the columns in a data set. So if we have a lot of features, this is very difficult to analyze, to actually visualize the data, and most of the time the features most of the features are irrelevant. So the processing a lot of data is very expensive as well. So we have some algorithms. PCA, that is principal component analysis, is one of the applications, one of the examples. Principal component analysis, what it does, it try to find the principal components. And what are principal components? That are actually the direction in which the data is having more variance, or it is more spread out in that particular direction. Okay, so now coming to the workflow or the process of machine learning. The process starts with a research question or the problem for which you have to actually collect or acquire the data. You can acquire the data from either from publicly available datasets, or you can also generate your own data as well. For example, in the form of surveys, or you can also acquire data from the web through web scraping as well. Then comes the next and the most important phase, that is data pre-processing. It is the phase where all of the irregularities and all of the inconsistencies in the data are eliminated, and the data is transformed into a shape that is digestible for the machine learning algorithm. Uh, then we split the data into training data and testing data. We train the machine learning algorithm using the training data. The selection of machine learning algorithm is purely based on the nature of the problem and the type of data that is selected. uh, when we start the training of the on the basis of the given data, we get a model, and this model needs valuation. uh, Valuation means we have to evaluate that if the model is performing good or not, and according to our needs or not. So the data we split it as testing and training was due to this reason. We use the testing data to evaluate the model and see what is the performance of the particular model. If the performance is satisfactory, we just save the model, stores the model, and if the performance is not satisfactory for us, we make some changes in the algorithm and we just retrain the data. Or if we need to provide some use some more data for the training, we just go to the first step again. We change the data set, or we add some more data, and then we again train the model. So this is a repetitive step which includes the feedback, evaluation, and when the results are up to the mark, as per our need, then we stop the process. Now we are going to discuss some of the application areas of machine learning. Machine learning has its application in several areas, out of which some of them will be discussed in this video, including banking and finance, agriculture, healthcare, gaming, space exploration. Let's just start with banking and finance. So now the systems are capable of identifying the fraudulent transaction and prevent them in timely manner because of the machine learning techniques, especially the self-learning ability and the real-time behavior profiling. The second thing is predictive analysis. Predictive analysis means that predicting something on the basis of historic data, predict what is going to happen in future. If we talk about the banking and finance sector, predictive analysis or the predictions from future predictions are of has their own importance. For example, if we talk about the stock market predictions, if we talk about the forex trading, so they have their own importance. Now coming to the second one, that is the agriculture domain. And in agriculture, the most important thing is the timely forecasting and accurate forecasting of the weather. So if the weather has been forecasted accurately and timely, the farmers can take many smart decisions on time. The second thing is crop monitoring and soil health monitoring. So nowadays we know that the computer using the computer vision technology, we do not have to actually go to the farm on the daily basis and monitor what's the health of the crop and what's the health of the soil. We can do this using the computer vision techniques. We can use a drone camera to take the photographs, and using the computer vision technology we can detect if the crop is infected or what is the actually status of the soil health. Coming to the third one, that is healthcare. So in healthcare, actually the field of healthcare has been revolutionized after the advent of artificial intelligence. Especially if we talk about the medical imaging. There are diagnoses in different diseases, and the error has been reduced in the diagnosis of different diseases. And there are a number of examples. For example, if we talk about the fracture detection using the x-rays, if we talk about the brain tumor detection, the pneumonia detection using chest x-rays, we have cancer cell detection, and we have so many other diagnostics applications in the field of healthcare using the medical imaging. Also, there was a study from 17 Harvard University that claims that artificial intelligence is capable of classifying the skin cancer with a level of competence that is comparable to the dermatologist. So, the field of healthcare has been revolutionized after the advent of artificial intelligence and the machine learning. Now, coming to the next one, that is gaming. If you have not if you don't know about the AlphaGo and AlphaZero, you are missing something very interesting. Go watch the documentary of AlphaGo, AlphaZero on YouTube. AlphaGo is actually an AI-based algorithm that was designed using that was designed by DeepMind, Google's DeepMind, and this was the first program that was able to beat the Grandmaster. Grandmaster are the players of which are one of the top of the players of a particular game. So the Grandmaster of the Go game was defeated by an AI program that is called AlphaGo. And there's another program that is AlphaZero. There is an engine that is a chess engine, Stockfish, which is known to be the best engine of chess game. So the AlphaZero was all defeated the Stockfish in a game after training itself using the reinforcement learning, and in the limited amount of 4 hours it was able to defeat AlphaZero. So this is also a very good application of machine learning, especially reinforcement learning. And this reinforcement learning is most of the time been used in the gaming field. Now coming to the last one, that is space exploration. Uh, Machine learning algorithms are being used for the spacecraft monitoring and control. Especially they are being used for space imaging and exploring the objects in the space. Uh, and also even they have been used for identifying some new planets. NASA has used a model that was trained by Google, and using the model NASA was able to discover some obscure planets that are Kepler 90I and Kepler 80G. So, using the machine learning, all of the fields, including the listed here, have been revolutionized, and there are so many others that have not been listed here. So now concluding the presentation, what we discussed up till now, we started with uh, the position of machine learning in computer sciences, and then we compared the traditional rule-based approaches with machine learning. Then we moved to the types of machine learning that were supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and reinforcement learning. Then we discussed the further types of supervised and unsupervised learning, and then we discussed the steps that are involved in machine learning process. At the end, we discussed the application areas of machine learning. This was the first video of machine learning series. This was a quick overview of machine learning process and its applications. In the coming videos, I will be discussing the research areas of machine learning in more detail. So if you have any question for this present video, you can just write in the comments below, and also make sure to subscribe the channel as well. We will meet in the coming videos very soon. Thank you very much.